Hello, 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 and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller. Joining me today, we have Justin and intern Tones. And guess what we are going to talk about, gentlemen? A whole slew of things.
Oh yeah,
All of it.
we got a loaded show ahead.
I am in school and I do have homework, but the homework I'm talking about is actually for the show. So I failed to turn in my homework on time. So we're gonna let Justin take away what we're covering today and what we're about.
Yeah, so we are going to be talking about college football, kind of a few different storylines there, a couple NFL storylines, and then Matt is gonna inform us a little bit about baseball because the playoffs have started, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're here to be covering the storylines that we don't hear from a lot of the larger networks. So, we noticed a miss in the market there where the big networks kind of rehash the same categories, same topics, same teams over and over. And college football, and I mean primarily college football, but the NFL and baseball as well, just have a lot more out there, and so we're here to cover that. And with that,
so we like to cover the little guys. That's our favorite thing to do, but sometimes we're contractually obligated to talk about the big guys too. Some storylines are just too much to pass up. So today we're gonna start with the big boys. We're gonna go over the Big Ten. They've announced some rivalries. Justin.
So out of nowhere, late last week, it was after we had done the show already, so we couldn't address it then. The Big Ten comes out with this thing called the Venmo. Oh, sorry, hang on. Let me say it properly here. We gotta be proper for the Big Ten. 2025 Big Ten Football Rivalry Series presented by Venmo. And guess what they lead off with? Penn State and Oregon. Totally the first rivalry you think of, right?
Yeah, I mean the blood runs deep in these two teams. But one thing we did find out from Penn State, Oregon, Justin, did you know that James Franklin has a hard time winning big games?
I guess the bigger rivalry is James Franklin versus the big game.
Yeah, James Franklin versus the top 10. I think he's like 4 for 21 now, and I think outside of the Big Ten, he's actually 2 for 2. Or 2 for 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he has one win over Boise State in the playoff last year, and then the other one was in the Rose Bowl against Utah when Cam Rising shattered his knee.
Yeah. So James Franklin, his enemy is the top 10 of college football. He's the Brian Kelly of the Big Ten. I mean, Brian Kelly. We have the same conversation every year, no matter what team he's coaching. Notre Dame, LSU, he can't win the big games. Now the Big Ten have their own version of that, just a little less screamy. James Franklin.
Well, sometimes he gets a little less chanty with his fan base.
He won't turn purple.
That is true.
But James Franklin, the narrative continues that he can't win the big games, and I don't know if it's coaching, if it's just he has a solid staff but not a great team. I feel like the quarterback play is typically pretty good, but he just can't get it done.
Yeah, it feels like they fall in the same patterns over and over again, and it doesn't matter what the staff looks like.
Guess what the media falls into every year?
Well, the same patterns are covering the same storylines. So yeah. We'll move on from this one. You've probably heard this many other places by now, but yeah. So the rest of the series here, I'll go over the names of I'll go over these games, and you guys can kind of shake your heads or not whether this is a rivalry or not. But we have Michigan State at Indiana.
It's got a trophy.
It does, the old brass spittoon. So that one's acceptable. I'll accept that one. Purdue at Northwestern.
I mean, long-time Big Ten bottom feeders, so I'd assume so, I guess.
Yeah, and geographically, pretty close.
I'll give it to them. Ohio State in Wisconsin.
Not quite as much as the other two.
Yeah.
I mean, they've played a few times when they were the top two teams in Big Ten, but
That's the only reason I can think that they're included in this list is that they've just played each other at Lucas Oil Stadium so many times.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Wisconsin pulled a couple upsets here and there in Camp Randall, but yeah, this does not feel like a rivalry. There's a lot of other teams that Ohio State fans despise more than Wisconsin. Yeah, we're getting rough on the rough part of the list here. But moving on, we have Minnesota and Iowa, the Floyd of Rosedale. That's a good one. That's a good one to put on there. Well done. Michigan and Michigan State, the Paul Bunyan Trophy. That one
would be expected, I guess. Yeah,
as it should.
And then
as it should.
We have Penn State, Ohio State. That one's kind of again like one of those where like it's really just both teams are pretty good, but
Ohio State pretty much dominates that one just because, again, James Franklin plays little brother in the Big Ten and can't get past
James
the top
Franklin
teams.
has his whole career took off because of one blocked kick against Ohio State in what was that, 2016?
Blind squirrel finds a nut twice a day.
But yeah, this one, I don't know, it gets a little bit heated, but it doesn't feel like a rival. Maryland to Rutgers.
Kind of the same thing. Like, they're the two outliers of the last Big Ten expansion. Like, they just seemed not in place, and that's why they're rivals.
Yeah, that weird expansion that really does not make sense even in hindsight.
They wanted the New York market and the DC market.
Okay, we added you guys. You don't really have any rivals, so here you go.
A lot of these are manufactured. We have to call that for what it is. They're manufacturing rivalries that no one cares about.
Penn State and Michigan State. They do play for a trophy, the land-grant trophy, so...
But I mean,
there's that, but...
When you look at it nowadays, it's not really a thing. Back when when Michigan State was actually halfway decent, this seemed like more of a, oh yeah, they play each other kind of thing. I don't think I've thought of a Penn State Michigan State matchup in years.
I can't recall the last time I've watched it. Yeah. And I think this is the year where they're randomly putting it in Detroit or something.
That would be solid, I guess. That'd be fun to watch.
Michigan and Maryland, Tony. There you go. That's got to be the Wolverines' biggest rival for sure, right?
There's no one else on this planet Earth besides Maryland that I would consider a rivalry. There's no one else. No one in the Big Ten. It's just Michigan.
Nobody in the independents.
Yeah, Maryland's our greatest enemy. Both start with M.
Both very similar programs,
Absolutely, same identity. Cash grab, dude.
Go Terrapins. Oh, that's great. Illinois, Wisconsin. That one's pretty decent.
And that's drifting back towards the olden days of Big Ten football.
Yeah, Brett Bielema obviously has been on both sides of this, so you got that as well. So you got a little beef there. USC and Oregon, kind of classic Pac-12 matchup, I think, and neighboring states. So you got a little something there. You wouldn't consider them the biggest rivals out of the Pac-12.
Although I would consider Southern California way different than Northern California.
Yes, they may as well be two different states. And then we get to rivalry week. We have Iowa, Nebraska. That one, the Heroes Trophy. That one's okay. I feel like in terms of manufactured rivalries,
I feel like that one is okay because I feel like both teams could also exist in the Big 12.
Yeah. And I feel like both teams actually, both fan bases have kind of gotten a little heated with each other lately. I feel like that's a pretty decent one.
It's because Iowa thinks Nebraska corn is trash, and they took offense to that. They said, we'll settle this on the field.
We have Indiana and Purdue, the old Oaken Bucket. That one's a good one.
Yeah, and not one that I geographically it makes sense, but it's like basically the Battle of Indianapolis.
Yeah. Northwestern Illinois, another in-state rivalry. That one's pretty good. UCLA and USC, the Victory Bell. So there you go. You got another one in there. And then Oregon and Washington, they're pretty good rivals. Like, not each other's biggest rival. Those are the in-state games that are
I feel
unfortunately
like there's
early
enough
in the
hate
year
there,
now.
though.
There is. There's definitely a lot of bitterness. And that's the end of the list. Who are we missing here?
Ohio State versus Nebraska.
Hated rivals. Hated rivals fight over the color red.
Next to each other in the alphabet.
I don't know. I feel like we got everyone, I think. Right?
It's the only deal that Venmo couldn't get their hands on. The rivalry game. The rivalry.
Yeah, when you think of Big Ten rivalries, like you think of Ohio State, Michigan, and they didn't even include it on this list.
Yeah, Ohio State, Michigan.
We had to make sure to get
the only rivalry that really anyone in the Big Ten cares about.
I would argue in the whole world.
They all care about each other, but like, you know, like I mean, you're throwing Oregon and Penn State in here, but you're not putting the rivalry of college football. Like, come on, guys. And then you're throwing Michigan and Maryland.
Why would they put Alabama versus
Wisconsin.
Auburn in a Big Ten?
No, not a chance. Anyways, that gets us to maybe we can move down south now. Matt, you have an Arkansas Razorback shirt. Surely you're celebrating the return of Bobby Petrino, right?
I did this because they got blown out by Notre Dame, but that blowout led to their head coach getting fired after he was in an interview going, you know, I understand why people would think I would get fired, but I don't think I should get fired. And then, like, the next day he gets fired.
There was, like, an image I had of him where he's just, like, I don't think it shows in the whole camera here. We're thin boxes today. But, like, he was just, like, well, just shrugging, like, I don't know. And that
he
kind
knew
of,
it was coming.
that one circulated a lot. I circulated that a lot last week.
But Bobby Petrino is now the interim head coach. And if that name sounds familiar to you at Arkansas, then it should, because he was the head coach a number of years ago. Why did he get fired, you ask? Oh, because he was riding a motorcycle in the off-season, or like right before the season, and crashed his motorcycle. Can you guys guess who was on the back of that motorcycle?
Was it his wife?
Not his wife. Nope. It was a student. And he got in big trouble and got canned. And, Justin, where did he go after that?
Yeah, so he had a little rehab stint at Western Kentucky.
Oh, wait. He, like, broke his neck on that motorcycle accident, too. Forgot that.
So
forgot to bring that.
You seen the picture of, like, him in the neck brace thing. And then he goes to Western Kentucky, kind of rehabs his career there, goes back to Louisville. Keep in mind, he was at Louisville before, and then left them hanging when he took off for the NFL. They somehow accept him back. So this is the second time he's gotten accepted back as a head coach somewhere where he left things ablaze on his way out. I don't know how this happens. But it was at Louisville. Lamar Jackson was there during this time, so that was the highlight of that time. And then everything fell apart, and he left Louisville in a bad spot again. Then he goes, rehabs his career again in Missouri State, spends a week at UNLV, and then for some reason, Arkansas goes, let's bring you back. Let's have you back as the offensive coordinator. And then this year, I'm pretty sure, like, what happened against Notre Dame, like, they finally just staged, like, a mutiny where they just wanted Bobby Petrino as head coach.
I mean, that would be really funny if that's how, like, the whole thing played out. But, like, yeah. His first act as interim head coach was to fire the defensive coordinator and said, this is my building now.
Hey, look at this. This is my show.
Yeah.
This is my place. And by the way, they have a bye week, so they got some time to prepare.
I hope they
Tennessee.
come out of that bye week and just start destroying people.
If they do, it would be hilarious because, like, they play like Tennessee and then Texas A&M next. Like, those are like the hard luck teams where they would end up against like a much improved Arkansas and end up getting upset. Man, I gotta apologize to our friends at the 1796. This is the second time I've said
Yeah.
something unfortunate for Tennessee. this
Yeah,
week,
they were
but-
all pissed off in the comment section last time you said it. Justin,
Well, it
stop
wasn't even-
pissing off our friends.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was about their record in against Florida in the swamp. But now, now it's the fact that they have to play Bobby Petrino in this first game. Good luck, guys. We move on to some of the rest of the action going on. We go back to one of our more home areas to talk about here, the Mountain West. And you guys, one of the most thrilling games went on Fox Sports 1. Hawaii and Air Force. Hawaii was really back to like their regular form of just slinging the ball all over the place. And despite that, they all of a sudden flipped the script in the second quarter. They went on a 24-play drive. It was one of only 3 drives that whole quarter because of how long it took.
How far did they go?
They went 24 plays, 80 yards, and it took over 12 minutes. Kick the
Oh
field.
my gosh, that is such a beautiful drive.
This is an early candidate for drive of the year.
Yeah,
For sure.
mark that one down on your calendars as we came up with a Mona Lisa one last year, and this just doubled that.
Yeah.
We should get sponsored by like Jeep or something. That'd be cool.
The Jeep drive of the year.
Yeah. Presented by Updog.
Hey, we're gonna keep rewarding the drive of the year until that happens. At our year-end
also-
awards, we do this. We award the drive of the year.
We also have the Dingwell Award.
Yes,
I can't wait to announce that one every year.
I know. And by the way, after his recent performances, I'm sure DJ Lagway is going to continue to try to find his way there.
Oh man, he would be like the best candidate for it too.
Yeah, but there was no Dingwell Award going on in this game because while Hawaii was slinging all over the field, like Air Force was like trying to run their traditional offense for most of the game. They fell behind, and they're like, okay, we've got to find our way back into this game. And all of a sudden, like they decided to live up to their name. They were the Air Force. They started throwing the ball all over the field. Their quarterback, Liam Sarka. I should have asked him how to pronounce Cesarka.
There you
I
go.
think that's how you say it. Liam Cesarka. Went 10 for 12 passing, 278 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Like, he went off in this game. And that kind of makes me wonder, like, if it's working this well, do you think Air Force might just continue to live up to their name the rest of the year? Just go in through the air.
It's dropping bombs.
Justin,
Yeah.
this is exactly what we wanted to do in college football 25. Is eventually make our way to Air Force and just pass every single play.
Yeah, and like the plan was like we were going to create the playbook. We were literally going to create a playbook with 0 run plays in it. We were not even going to have the option to run. We were just going to be straight at the Air Force and throw the ball every play.
I would say occasionally we could throw like a QB blast in on the 1 yard line.
Nope, screen pass. That's the only option. Screen pass, maybe throw it short to the running back in a swing route, something like that, but nope. We let me get the option to run. But I would enjoy this. I would enjoy if Air Force lives up to their name. That would be a lot of fun.
That would
They
be
play
fantastic.
Navy this week. We'll be picking that later on.
Yeah, we'll be taking a look here pretty soon.
Yeah. But moving on, we had a game scheduled this weekend. It was called the Georgia Football Classic. The Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils, a program that we much love on this program here, taking on Florida A&M. Now, last year when these two played, Mississippi Valley State actually got their only win of the year over Florida A&M.
Mississippi Valley State might have the best logo of all.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. It is incredible. Them or Arkansas Pine Bluff. But yeah, so they're going to play in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. All of a sudden, a few days ago, they were like, wait a minute. We don't have the Georgia Dome secured. We may not be able to play here. And all of a sudden, like, there's rumors that they're frantically searching all around Atlanta to find a place to play. Like, is Kennesaw State Stadium available? Clark Atlanta Stadium on the red turf available? Like, they were looking everywhere. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. Look at that.
I don't think they use it anymore because I had to do like a second search.
No, they did like revamp it recently, and I mean the revamped logo's good, but it's not. But yeah, so like they all of a sudden like are looking for different locations, and fans, keep in mind, like fans have had hotels booked for months, and they're like, are we going to actually get to attend this thing? Like, is this going to happen? And or like, are they going to move it? And then finally, an announcement comes out. They end up moving it to November 29th. They're going to play the game at Mississippi Valley State. So it ended up being the Georgia Football Classic. That wasn't.
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. I feel like Mississippi Valley State could have taken that game this weekend, but you put it at the end of November, anything could happen.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, it's definitely a situation that leaves a lot of questions. Like, was it on the organizers? Did they promise something they couldn't deliver? What? Hard to tell what happened there, but that was certainly one of the most bizarre situations we've seen this weekend, or coming up this weekend.
Well, Justin, what about FCS? I feel like we haven't talked about FCS for a while. I feel like that's a good transition. We got some contenders starting to come out of this whole thing. So, what's going on in the lower level of Division One?
Yeah, so we're seeing, for one, get ready because like this weekend is a huge FCS weekend. There are a lot of great matchups coming up, so it's a great time to kind of dive in, look who the top contenders are, and we start with an obvious one. North Dakota State has been on a complete warpath this year. You think they were good last year when they won the championship? North Dakota State is just absolutely demolishing people. They played South Dakota, who was the only team that beat them in the regular season last year. And by halftime, they were up 34-0. I can't even recall if South Dakota State had the first down. They have been just blowing people out. Actually, I need to look and see, like, has North Dakota State, how many touchdowns has North Dakota State given up this year?
Probably like one or two.
They gave up 2 to Southeast Missouri State, and then I think South Dakota managed to get 1 in there.
Fake football analysts gave us a cool shout out, digging the discussion, not just powerhouse college teams for the weekend. Yeah, that's what we're all about here. We don't just focus on the Ohio States of the world. Our intern is fast at the comments.
Very fast.
But yeah, we love to bring up the little teams. I mean, we're big UT RGV Vaqueros fans. Even though they just lost last week, they're no longer the winningest program in college football history.
Percentage-wise, they could still be. We'd have to look at the percentages, but the Southeastern Lions, they're a good team. Maybe I should have included them in this discussion. But yeah, North Dakota State. Let's go through their schedule real quick. They beat the Citadel 38-0. Beat Tennessee State 59-3. Beat Southeast Missouri State 41-14, and beat South Dakota 51-3. This team is on a warpath. And yeah, I don't think their quarterback has thrown. Cole Payton is his name. He has not thrown a pick yet this year. This team is just, they look even better than last year, and that's a scary thought. But they're not the only Dakota. South Dakota State, they're undefeated as well. They took down Montana State on the road for a much bigger win. And overall, the Jackrabbits, I mean, yeah, they had a new head coach and everything, but they are churning along like usual. So you get past the Dakotas, and there are a couple new contenders entering the ring, at least compared to last year. Tarleton State is a new player. They have some explosive athletes. This is a program that has not been shy about the fact that they want to be at the FBS level, and they're already starting to recruit people that are of that caliber. And they proved that week 1. They took down Army at Army. That was a very impressive win. And they've been marching along ever since, just kind of going through everyone in their path. It'll be interesting to see like how the committee evaluates them throughout the year, because the UAC, the conference they're in, has strong non-conference. So if they're undefeated, they very well could get the 2 seed over the North Dakota State, South Dakota State loser.
Hey Justin, we have an FCS question.
But yeah,
What's your thoughts on Delaware State?
Delaware State is looking awesome this year. Yeah, so they are, I believe, it may not be the case after last week, but they were at one point the number 1 rushing offense in FCS. And they lost this past, I did not plan to go over this crazy story, but since we're here, we'll go over it. One of the craziest stories I've seen, they scored a touchdown to go up 14-0. Their quarterback went to the stands, was high-fiving his own fans, and then gets ejected from the game. He got ejected for that. Some dude hucked a football at a fan in another game, and nothing happened to them. But Delaware State, their quarterback gets ejected for that, and they end up losing to Sacred Heart as a result.
Yeah,
but still a very good team.
Debilitating.
Definitely one of the top teams in the MEAC. I'm really hoping they end up representing the MEAC in the Celebration Bowl this year. That would be awesome.
Yeah. What else we got going on the FCS level, Justin?
Yeah, and then another contender, one that we noticed this past weekend, Big Sky After Dark. The Montana Grizzlies made their first statement of the year. Now, they kind of started out a little bit questionable. Took a little bit longer than you would like to get past the Division II team, Central Washington. Although, in their defense, Central Washington did just put up 91 points on less than 500 yards this past weekend. But Montana, got past them, had to make a comeback to beat a really good North Dakota team. But now you're starting to see the team kind of take off a little bit. Montana's won in a couple blowouts, and then they dominated Idaho. Last year, we saw Montana kind of have a lot of dramatic games, like whether it was being stuck in a low-scoring game that was close or a ridiculous offensive shootout. We saw them basically have some sort of chaos every single week. This year, they look a lot more business-like. They are taking teams down from the start and not letting them come back up for air. So that is a team to watch out for. And of course, they host the Brawl of the Wild this year, which is another huge key.
Yeah, I mean, we're big Montana fans here. I mean, we love the Big Sky. If it was closer, we'd probably go to every game, but we live all the way across the country.
At the least, we're now in Big Sky Pick'ems with a bunch of the Big Sky college sports guys crew. So
sweet,
we got our little Big Sky fix there.
Yeah,
moving in.
Updog is infiltrating the not so far northwest, but northwest.
The Big Sky country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Rocky Mountain Range, the national parks, whatever you want to say.
Fantastic skiing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's been a while since any of us have been skiing, but we've been before.
Yeah. Our body types may not say it, but we used to.
Primo athletes.
Well, to be fair, until last year, like our winters in Cincinnati lasted like 1 week, so there wasn't really a good opportunity to get out.
Yeah. But I think it's time to move on to a sport that pretty much anybody watching is probably going to tune out now. Baseball is here. Baseball postseason is quite possibly the most beautiful thing of all time. You know why? Somebody is allowed to say why in this scenario.
Why, Matt? Why?
Because as the 611 podcast put it, which is Jimmy Rollins and Ryan Howard, that's when they go back to small ball. They're okay getting a hit over the first baseman's head and then just stopping at first base. They don't have to hit a home run unless you're the Dodgers. So, speaking of which, they blew out the Reds last night 10-5, but exposed a major weakness. The Dodgers bullpen is not that great, and that's the reason why they're playing in the wild card round. Right now, we have the Tigers and the Indians. They've split a game and they play tomorrow at 1 p.m. Can the Tigers move on? Or can the Guardian? Did I say Indians?
Yeah, you did.
Oh man, I gotta quit podcasting now. I meant the Cleveland
It's
Guardians.
not like okay. That one's not the worst one.
No,
Now,
and all
if
Cleveland
you were to
fans
say
want
the
name back.
the Washington mistake, now that one is
Yeah, the Washington football team. That's no, the Cleveland Guardians. My apologies. Can they move on and see if they can get back to the World Series? The Cubs and the Padres have also split the series, and they play tomorrow at 3. By the way, Mason Miller, no relation. He threw a 104.5 mile an hour pitch today, which is now the postseason record. I probably would not have taken Fried out last night, fake football analysts. But I'm also not the manager, so I don't know how he was feeling, what the conversation was like. I feel like it's easier to take your pitcher out in the wild card round than it is like Game 7 of the World Series. So yeah, but last night's Yankees Red Sox game, I feel like the Yankees Red Sox give us good playoff vibes every time they face each other. Aroldis Chapman was in, should be familiar to you Cincinnati fans. He was pitching for the Red Sox, not the Reds. The Yankees had bases loaded, no outs, and Giancarlo Stanton struck out. Jazz Chisholm came to the plate, flied out to right, and they had Paul Goldschmidt at third, so he's not fast enough to just tag up on that. And then I forget who the last guy was, but he swung and missed at a high fastball, and Yankees lost. And now it's a discussion topic on if the Yankees are even good enough to get out of the wild card round, which is kind of crazy because everyone chalked them up to lose to the Dodgers in the World Series.
They're all tied up right now. Middle of the eighth.
Yeah, it's if you are able to do a second screen, because I'm not going to tell you to just get off of our thing, but if you're able to get to a second screen, you should probably just put one eye on that.
Matt, why are you trying to turn our people away?
Yeah, Matt, come on.
I'm taking a marketing class next semester, so I think I'll get better at that then.
We'll stick a pin in that one.
The Dodgers and Reds, as I said before, the Dodgers won 10-5. They play later tonight. A lot of Cincinnati fans are doom and gloom because not only did the Bengals get trounced on Monday, the Reds lost in very convincing Reds fashion last night. So a lot of people here in the Midwest are like, yeah, let's just not do sports for a while. But yeah, people do forget from the comment section. People do forget that Juan Soto was the offense for the Yankees last postseason. Which is funny because he had a career year this year and the Mets missed the playoffs. In the funniest of fashions. So you actually have to back that one up a little bit. The Miami Marlins, it was a Wednesday, and the Miami Marlins are still in playoff contention. It is a win or get eliminated scenario. And what do, guys? They decide to sit their best pitcher one day, get eliminated from the playoffs, just so they can put their best pitching staff against the Mets to make the Mets lose and miss the playoffs. And you know what they did after they beat the Mets and made the Mets miss the playoffs? They acted like they just won the World Series.
That's what petty looks like, dude.
Yeah.
That is peak pettiness, and I'm here for it.
Yes.
They just lived just to ruin the Mets.
For real. Like, they didn't care about making the playoffs. Well, if you ask people in the locker room, they were like, yeah, we wanted to be in it, but deep down, everyone knows the Miami Marlins hate the Mets. So it was the funniest thing as a Reds fan to watch that happen because the Reds made the playoffs and are gonna get absolutely annihilated by the Dodgers, and then we'll have to look forward to college basketball. So you probably won't hear from sports from me for a while. um, no, I mean we actually did. You guys notice we skipped like the entire NFL segment?
Yes.
Yeah, we were. I think that's why we were quiet about the baseball thing, because we were like, Matt, you missed the whole thing.
I did.
So
I kind of overshot that one a little bit. I love baseball a lot, so if I get the chance to talk baseball, what we were gonna talk about was the New York Football Giants. They made
New York curses.
yeah, they made a surprisingly competent move in starting Jackson Dart. Turned out very well for them for, I don't know, 2/3 of that game. Till they found out that their star receiver, Malik Neighbors, is going to be out for the season with just an exploded knee. Everything's gone. Back to the MetLife turf conversation, because it seems like this show is about bringing up the same old thing every single October 1st. The turf at MetLife is awful. I feel like at this point, the NFL purposely doesn't want to put grass out there just so they can feed the medical industry.
Do you guys know, since 2020, we're talking, bigger names. Since 2020, guess how many notable players have been injured by MetLife Stadium?
17.
That's actually a pretty good guess.
Oh, 15.
It's actually 16. So,
Damn it, Justin.
Nick Bosa, Garoppolo, Raheem Mostert, Sterling Shepard, twice, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jabril Peppers, Aaron Rodgers, and then, of course, the newest victim, Malik Neighbors. It was a soul for a soul. You brought in Jackson Dart. He did great. Or there's high promise. But to get out such talent, they had to trade Malik. It's a soul for a soul.
And guess what they said today? They do not intend to sign a wide receiver and to take his spot on the roster. You can bring OBJ back. Do whatever you need to. I mean,
I'm sure OBJ does not want to play on that turf either, because I'm pretty sure he got torn up by the turf there too.
So, what do you think is worse, the MetLife turf or the FedEx Field grass?
Everything that was FedEx Field.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, remember like the early days of our show, we kept making fun of their poop pikes leaking everywhere.
Yeah, that was a time. A time to be away from that stadium. It just seems like the 25-yard line at FedEx Field was just cursed.
Yeah.
I feel like the three that stand out to me is obviously Theismann, Alex Smith, and Joe Burrow. There's a lot more.
Didn't RG3
I don't think it was on the 25-yard line, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was like on the sideline on like the 43 or something random. When you get as old as we are, you kind of just remember random facts like that. Like, I remember where I was when RG3 tore his ACL.
And the Cleveland Indians.
Sitting there watching, Cleveland Indians. Washington football team. I mean, that's a throwback right there. But I mean, did you know the Bengals have the same turf as MetLife?
I did not.
They switched it back. So they originally had the same turf back in like the mid 2000s. And then they got away from it, went with a different brand, and then they brought it back like last year. And it just seems like there's been some more injuries there too. So maybe it's maybe that company needs to be investigated. Not by us. We're not investigators. We just idiots behind a microphone.
Better watch out. We're on to you. Follow the money.
I think eventually we're gonna have a full-on debate on this again. But like, just go to grass. I feel like grass is much more natural. I mean, if they can have grass in Arizona, just a beautiful turf, or like that beautiful grass turf down in Miami that they like grow a few miles away, like do something like that. I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than that.
Yeah.
It gets a little harder with the like doing the colorful turf because I actually had a conversation today about like the Vice Night for Miami when they did the black uniforms and the black end zones. We were like, wouldn't that be cool if they did like a pink turf? And then I remembered that it was grass, and we're like, that's a lot of paint. That's seems like a lot of lung cancer for one guy. So, um, but speaking of the Bengals, they played Monday night. As I said earlier, they got absolutely annihilated. You can pretty much eliminate them from playoff contention.
Monday Night Football, they had a doubleheader that they advertised all week and stuff, and like if this was someone's first experience watching the NFL, like they would probably forget the whole bit moving forward because it was a horrible performance. The Jets Dolphins, like everyone knew that game was awful from the start. It was awful, and the refs were brutal in that one.
And I'm pretty sure Troy Aikman was like smoking a pound of grass before the before the game.
Yeah, and then you get to the Bengals Broncos, and like this is the main one that people paid attention to. And in all reality, it was not about the Bengals and Broncos. New NFL referee Alex Moore and his crew said, "No, you are not here to watch the Bengals and Broncos. You are here to watch us, and we are going to have our faces in front of the camera at all times." And that's what they did. So, with that being said, like they successfully did that. They had their faces up there every 5 minutes at least. So, round of applause to Alex Moore and crew. We definitely recognize you were there. Well done, guys.
We saw you. We saw you, Stripes.
The there was like one in the end zone that I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like you're gonna call that?" And then that head twitch by Ted Karras, I was like, "What are you doing?"
That was just
completely incorrect.
Yeah, factually wrong, and then also just ruined everything after that. Yeah. That was like the spark.
That was the moment the game really changed. I mean, like at one point, like even Joe Buck and Troy Aikman normally have like what you could say is probably a dream job. Those guys were just miserable up there because they were complaining the whole time. They're like, "What are we supposed to do at this point?"
I don't think Troy Aikman.
They're just throwing flags at everything.
I think he smoked the best marijuana he's had in years. He was up there singing in the booth.
Well, I mean, he needed to do something while Alex Moore was down there announcing another penalty.
Yeah, and the Bengals, I think, are the most flagged team in the NFL at this point, and it's almost all on their defense.
We can't say that they were all poor calls. Like, there's something fundamentally wrong with the Cincinnati Bengals right now. And I don't know if it's Zach Taylor. I don't know if it's they put all their eggs in, the Joe Burrow, Chase stack, and then you lose one piece and everything falls apart. I don't know. Either way.
I mean, losing your franchise quarterback hurts regardless. And it's hard to have a guy step in. Like, remember when Tom Brady tore his ACL? And it was like after their undefeated season that they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. I have to remind everyone of that. And Matt Castle stepped in, and still the Patriots were 11-5. I think it hurt the Bengals a lot, but at the same time, it's like play calling really wasn't that great to begin with and everything. And like Joe Burrow masked a lot of issues. And I think like if Marvin Lewis was able to keep his job for like 20 years for just making it to the playoffs occasionally, Zach Taylor may have a job for life for making it to the Super Bowl. But like the groomers are swirling here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I like the offensive line's just so bad, and I don't get why. Like, you look at it, like the Bengals have you don't build an offensive line through free agency. You build it through the draft, and for the most part, the Bengals are spending early picks on the offensive line, and the end result is where you just have a quarterback back there that doesn't even stand a chance. Like, there was a clip that definitely has been circulating where he's just hit instantly, and
Yeah.
our Amarius Mims, their former first round pick, is just standing there, watch two guys go by, not touching either one of them. Like,
And you
what is
invested
going on?
$75 million in Orlando Brown, and it's like, with this many guys that are supposed to be good, I don't think it's a talent issue.
It can't be. It has to be a coaching issue.
Yeah, because you get rid of Frank Pollock and you immediately think, wow, my offensive line should get better. It did not.
Same shit.
It doesn't matter who is in there. They still play like they have Hakeem Adeniji at left tackle, like, and Michael Jordan, not the basketball player, at left guard, like, and Bobby Hart at right tackle. Like, I feel like if Zach Taylor, if the opportunity presents itself to Duke Tobin and Mike Brown, is to get rid of Zach Taylor, you gotta at some point try to strive for something, except for just making a paycheck and selling all your players' gear at the end of the year. You gotta try to win something, and if the groomers start swirling, you gotta take that into account.
I mean, certainly there would be a lot of coaches out there that would love the opportunity to coach Joe Burrow.
Oh, so many. And I've heard some rumors about Joe Brady. I feel like that would be a good one. I know you wouldn't like that, Justin, but, like, I mean, we saw Joe Brady struggle in Carolina, but I don't know if that was entirely his fault.
I don't think he stood a chance there.
No. But I do think that, and we didn't expect to talk this long about Bengals football, so apologies. But I do think it's a Zach Taylor play calling thing. Perhaps Brian Callahan. I don't know. I don't know if he's much better than Zach Taylor.
I think maybe that's even the issue. Like, these guys like try to run this like offense. It's just like everyone knows they're passing every single play. They're hardly ever running the ball. And I think the fact is, I think we're seeing the defenses catch on to that. And that's why neither one of them are having any success right now. Like, you think of two of the worst playing offenses this week, it's the Bengals and Titans, and they're running the same offense.
And that's how Chase Brown ends up being put on the waiver wire because he's not producing.
Did you finally drop Chase Brown?
No, I can't do it, but I've thought about it. 100% I've thought about it.
You like how Samaje Perine like had a good little stretch there, and it took him out to have Chase Brown just run into the back of the guard.
I don't. He was
At this
supposed to be the guy.
At this point, would you trade for Joe Mixon? Give up like a mid-round pick, being like, hey, he clearly doesn't want to be in Houston. We'll have him back, please. Thank you.
For the right price? Yeah. I had a dream I went to TJ Maxx with him one time. So yeah, just bring him back. I want that to happen.
Do we even know if Joe Mixon's going to come back this year?
Health-wise, yes. But he's feuding with that front office right now, so we will see.
Yeah, mentioning offensive line issues, the Texans.
Texans are looking bad.
I was referencing that play with the Bengals that was really bad. Somehow the Texans actually had a worse offensive line play, where Stroud was literally sacked the moment he received the snap.
Yeah.
We've seen some bad line play in the NFL this year.
Yeah, and it seems like it's coming from teams with solid skill players, solid quarterbacks. Like the Texans were almost a shoo-in for winning the AFC South. Sorry, Fanboys Unleashed. Titans can get it next year. But the
incoming another Brian Callahan comment, I'm sure.
yeah.
He's wanting to put a horse head on his desk like the mafia. I love
like
that.
So he represents like what I believe all Titans fans are thinking too. So I'm just assuming all of them want to do the same thing. And Yeah, it's not pretty in Tennessee right now.
Yeah, I mean, like we had Mr. First Down on to do the AFC South previews, and like he had a lot of promise for the Titans, but he was more looking 3-4 years down the line. I do feel bad for the Titans, but I grew up a Bengals fan in the '90s, so I can't get much worse than that.
Yeah.
I mean, even being a Bills fan before Josh Allen, this has been pretty rough.
At least you went 8-8 for a long time.
Yeah, I know,
Like-
we were mediocre as could be forever.
And he made 4 straight Super Bowls. You weren't
Yeah.
cognitive during those years, but you made 4 straight
I was
Super
2 years
Bowls.
old the last time it happened, but
No, I mean, I talked to Carl Pickens one time, and he was like, he didn't really bash the Bengals. I think he was trying to, like, remain neutral. But I was like, I'd like to see you in the Ring of Honor. And he was like, yeah, maybe, ... Because of how things ended. I mean, can we really say it's a Zach Taylor problem when it's the same issues for 50, 60 years?
this brings back Tony's quote from the offseason.
The fish stinks from the head. It's Mike Brown. Get his ass out.
4-3 Yanks, we have an update.
They heard
Yeah.
they heard your challenge to them. They said we belong here.
Well,
Matt,
they
usually
make
when
it.
I talk shit, bad things happen to me. So
Yeah, if they make it now, Matt, if they make it to the World Series, it's your fault.
Oh, 100%. Boston fans, if this doesn't work out for you, you can blame ESPN all you want. That they're a good scapegoat, but just
There we
take it
go.
easy on me, okay?
I'm going up there in 2 weeks. If you want me to pass
up
your
flyers?
yeah, if you want me to This is who
Just
you
send
blame. I know him.
Just send them, find that clip and just send it to them. Oh, that'd be great.
We should take like the front page of like Steve Bartman from the Cubs when he had his debacle in Chicago. Change all the wording to Yankees beat Red Sox and then put me there going blame this guy. If only I was better at Photoshop.
We got a guy now. Our intern here, he handles all graphics.
Yeah, he comes
Good
at
try.
a steep price.
Yeah. I mean, get what you pay for.
Any other major NFL storylines we like want to throw in here at the last minute?
I think that's
We can
about
save
it.
those for another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say we move on to the picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, week 6 picks, guys. We're
For
already
the
in
moment
week
you've
6.
all been waiting for.
So finally,
You've sat through
leading-
55 minutes of just us blabbering on, just for our picks.
So last week, we all had a good week. Everyone went between 10-1 and 8-3. CFB Home, who's in last place, has the best week yet, going 10-1. And that brought the standings very close. Omar retains his lead, but only has a 1-game lead over the pack, basically, which is intern, myself, and Bobby of the TNT podcast. All 1 game behind. And then 1 more game behind is where Matt is. And then 1 more game behind him is CFB Home. So cast a net of 3 games over all of us, and we're all right there. It is heating up here with the pick'ems. And this week might even bring more excitement. So let's kick it off here with the American Conference. The American Conference has 3 Owls within the conference. And who? But
Who let the Owls out?
who let the Owls out? Yes. But of all the Owls in the conference, there's only 1 Owls versus Owls matchup this year. And it's this weekend. Florida Atlantic and Rice. Florida Atlantic definitely needs to get a win. Rice is looking to continue their hot start to the year. Took the second loss last week, so looking to recover here. Get to win number 4. Which set of Owls will prevail? And I would say get a huge advantage.
Go ahead, Don.
In the Owl off, I think I'm going to have to go with the Owls. And by the Owls, I mean Rice, baby. It's a home game, tricky offense, efficient. That's a recipe for a win, I think.
Fun fact. Trey Hendrickson went to FAU. And like the Bengals, I think FAU's going to have the same luck. So I'm also going to go Rice. Space U gets the win. I mean, I'm sorry. Space Who.
When FAU hosted Memphis last week, they actually did do some, at one point during the game, they did some Trey Hendrickson highlights. And I forgot that when he was there, like that was the year they should have been in Florida in the swamp. So pretty decent era there. Right now, Florida Atlantic does have a pretty explosive offense, but you know what keeps an explosive offense off the field? This Rice offense. Rice tends to hold on to the ball for a long period of time. They will frustrate them, and the Owls of Rice play great defense as well. Give me Rice to win this one. All three of us going with Rice. Now we move to the ACC. The ACC's newest, hottest team. The Virginia Cavaliers, fresh off a huge win over Florida State, head to Bourbon Country to take on the Louisville Cardinals. Who will win this?
This is pure gut feeling, probably inspired by watching the whole state run onto the field, but I'm taking Virginia with the upset.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, I gotta agree. This is the homework that I kind of had to do at the last second. But I do agree. I think Virginia, the whole state of Virginia needs a win for all of their programs. I don't think we've had an elite Virginia program that you can constitute as college football playoff worthy in a long time. And I think the Cavaliers are definitely on their way to that. And I think Louisville is set in their woes right now. So I think the Cavaliers pulled out. Although I do like Louisville. I love their stadium. If you get a chance to go, you should go.
What woes? Louisville's undefeated right now. They're sitting high. Louisville's they're a top contender, and I think Louisville's going to make a statement here. Virginia got an extra day of rest after the big win, but still, it is hard to come off a win like that and head to Louisville. Give me the Cards with the home field advantage. I see them winning this one. Next, we move to the Big 12. Iowa State has been churning along. Top 15 team, probably should be top 10 because they're still undefeated and have good wins. That's another discussion. But they travel here to Cincinnati to take on the Bearcats. Fresh off their best performance in quite a long time, honestly. Yeah. Probably since the playoff year, I would say. The Bearcats looking pretty solid, but is this one too big for them? Vegas says it isn't. Cincinnati's favored.
Yankees.
Do you agree? Or who do you see winning?
I think this could be a grindy game. We can acknowledge UC's recent performance. I could see how they would be favored. I still think Iowa State goes in, starts up a cyclone, and wins.
I have gone back and forth on this quite a bit because I like Cincinnati sports, but I also know Cincinnati sports. I also know Scott Satterfield, and part of me just says that they're going to get absolutely annihilated. But I wouldn't be me if I wasn't going to do a homer pick, so I have the UC Bearcats winning and the Don Corleone, leading the charge.
For Road Dogs Pick'ems, for our show, because we are based in Cincinnati, I chose Cincinnati to represent the show and represent our hometown. But when it comes to this game just feels too big for the Bearcats. This pick'em is strictly business for me, and I'm going with Iowa State as a result. Give me the Cyclones and Matt Campbell to get it done once again. Also, because last week I felt like I kind of doubted them a little bit. Thought Arizona could challenge them and maybe beat them. Iowa State blew them out, so don't doubt the Cyclones. Give me Iowa State. Next, we go to the Big Ten. The Washington Huskies travel across to face the Maryland Terrapins. I'm surprised they didn't make this a rivalry game.
I know, I was about to say, the rivalry week.
Yeah, Washington, Maryland. This is the content you all are here for. They take out each other. Maryland still undefeated. Washington coming out their first loss. Who do you see winning this one?
I think Washington, they're just better battle tested. And as a Michigan fan, I absolutely cannot stand Maryland.
You know, back in the day, I decided to try to annoy Justin. And one of the things I tried to annoy him with was a song based on one of these two teams. And that song goes as follows. Maryland, Mary had a fairy named Larryland. I spent a lot of my 20s just trying to annoy Justin. But for that fact, Washington is back, and I'm going to go with the Huskies. And they have by far one of the most beautiful landscapes in college football.
Yeah. So Maryland's 4-0. They're undefeated. But guess what month we just turned to today?
October.
That means we're no longer in September, right? September, Maryland's gone. Give me the Huskies.
It's a fact. Look it up.
Yeah. By the way, man, I mean that was a hard conference to find a pickup game this week because the Big Ten slate is just gross. Conference USA, not a gross slate. Actually, there's only a few games playing because they're getting prepped to go to weeknights. But we have a massive one on Friday night on CBS Sports Network. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers travel to face the Delaware Blue Hens. Used to be a heated FCS battle, but now this game could decide who is one of the top teams in this conference. Delaware has, as we said last week, has made the FBS transition look easy. Western Kentucky is a team we've been high on since the offseason with Maverick, MacGyver, and co. throwing it all over the place. Who do you see winning this one?
You know, I've been picking a lot of road teams this week. That's interesting. But I'm going to go ahead and pick another one. I think the Hilltoppers, I like their... I think they'll have some offensive prowess, even though Delaware's at home. It's just a gut feeling.
I think that Justin talks so much about Maverick MacGyver. I do like Maverick MacGyver myself. I'm not trying to downplay the whole thing. But I think we pride ourselves here on the little guys. And what's littler than little Delaware. And so the Delaware Blue Hens walk away, and the Delaware Blue Hens continue to shock college football.
Yeah, so this one was a tough one for me. Obviously, like I said, Maverick MacGyvers have played really well. But we've been seeing their offense kind of hit some snags a little bit down the line. Not quite finishing drives as well as we were used to seeing early in the year. Delaware has been heating up in recent weeks. Give me the Blue Hens to get it done and pull the shocker here. I mean, that's not really that big of a shocker. Delaware's actually favored to win this game, but give me the Blue Hens to win it.
Intern Island over here.
The week that sets us apart.
Hey, it could be.
Brings me back into it.
Got to risk it for the biscuit, dude.
We moved to Maction. This is a game that we are only picking because I will be at this game. I will be boots on the ground as the Buffalo Bulls take on the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Buffalo, 2 tough losses in the past 2 weeks where they saw 2 games slip away. Eastern Michigan took down Louisiana a couple weeks ago to finally get a win, but then went back to struggling last week. Who comes out with the win here?
I think it's Buffalo. I think it's the Bulls. It's their 3rd home game in a row. They've been close. I think they finally make it happen.
Eastern Michigan is one of the most interesting programs in the MAC. They have the coolest turf. They have an NFL player as a vice president of something or whatever. But you know what they don't have? The defense that the Buffalo Bulls has. They're stacked on defense. I think that defense comes out this weekend and puts on a clinic for Justin to watch.
Yeah. And by the way, mentioning defense, Eastern Michigan is almost the opposite of that. Their run defense has been one of the worst in the country. Even the Long Island Shocks ran all over them. Notice the New England accent there. Buffalo wins this one. Moving on, we go to the Mountain West. This one's a nooner on CBS, the main network. Make sure you watch this one because the other large networks games at noon are just absolutely dreadful. Air Force and Navy. Air Force, like we said before, has gone guns blazing through the air towards the end of their games, not at the start of their games. Maybe they do it from the start this time. Navy has been kind of just churning along. Hasn't really faced any, other than Rice, hasn't faced like a gigantic challenge yet. Who wins this one?
I think the Navy is going to run the Air Force into the ground. And you heard it first here.
Hey.
I think they, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. I think this one goes to Navy.
We got a Dr. Seuss in the house.
I know. I can't even follow that one up. I'm just gonna go Navy on this one.
I hope my little poem ends up in the AI machine to bust out a video.
Hopefully. Either way, you have to make sure it happens. Oh, that was great. Moving to the Pac-12, one of the more unique intersectional matchups this weekend. The Oregon State Beavers travel to Boone, North Carolina to take on the Appalachian State Mountaineers. This is the second time Appalachian State has played a future Pac-12 team in the last few weeks. Very weird. Who do you think wins this one?
I just had a pun pop into my head, and that's why I stopped.
Do it.
Do it. Matt already did the lame one already. Like,
Hey!
I want to beaver in Oregon State. I think their strength of schedule, although they've lost, they're just missing a little bit of belief, dude. That's all they need. The Beavers just need to believe.
Did you know that since 2014, Appalachian State has been the most consistent program in college football?
yeah, I did.
They have a 646 win percentage. And they crossed the 10-win mark, average of 10 wins, the 100-win total mark last year. So, that being said, I think Appalachian State continues that. I think that they are a very underrated program, and we need to start giving them the praise that they deserve. Little guy takes down former Power 5.
Yeah. So, Oregon State is starting to look better in recent weeks. I think Tony might be on to something there. They should have been in Houston. That game kind of slipped away from them at the end last Friday. Now the Beavs look to recover in Boone, North Carolina. There's one problem, though. That place is always going to have a packed, loud, sold-out crowd. They're going to be ready to go. And, of course, because Oregon State is dead last in the country in special teams, watch for that to make an impact at some point during the game. Appalachian State wins. Then we go to the SEC. This was another conference that was very gross to try to find a game this week. A lot of mismatches here. This one might be one of those, but we'll see. Mississippi State and Texas A&M. Mississippi State just should have been Tennessee. So this team looks a lot better than expected. Texas A&M kind of wheezed their way past Auburn last week. Do we see a repeat of that there? Texas A&M maybe dangling a little upset opportunity, or do the Aggies just roll in this one?
I think it's going to be closer than we think. But this one's for you, Queso. Go Aggies.
Mississippi State has been the butt of every SEC joke since Vanderbilt started becoming good. Which was just, I guess, a couple years ago. But
just last year.
Mississippi
Kentucky.
Mississippi State is a solid football team going into week 6. But they're going to start hitting the heart of SEC play. And I think last week was a solid trap game week for Tennessee. So this week, I have A&M winning in convincing fashion. I don't think it'll be close.
All right. Well, I think Kentucky now has taken the laughing stock role in the SEC. Which, by the way, why would you put that team on ABC? I do not know. What a disgrace. Texas A&M wins. I'm not going to pick the upset here. I think the Aggies win this one, but I think Mississippi State covers. As long as you get the hook of plus 14.5. At plus 14, I don't want it anymore. We move to the Sun Belt. This game is on ESPNU. Make sure you catch it. Texas State travels to Arkansas State. The Red Wolves at home desperately need to get back on the right track. It's been a tough losing streak the last few weeks. They need something to get back on track here. While Texas State looks to keep rolling. But this isn't as easy of a trip as you would think. Remember, just a few weeks ago, Arkansas State battled for 4 quarters with Iowa State in Jonesboro. Can the Red Wolves finish the job here? Or is Texas State rolling?
I'm a cat guy myself.
Meow.
Thank you. I'm taking Texas State. I think it's just going to be an offensive overwhelm. I'm a cat guy.
ADHD kicked in there, and I thought you guys would like that. We have talked so much about how Texas State is going to be the next big thing. And I feel like each year we kind of have to put our foot in it. But I think this is where it turns back into their favor. I think this is where Texas State may not be the biggest statement, but I think it's a statement nonetheless for them to kind of gather themselves and get themselves into some consistency going into the middle part of the season. And I think Texas State lives up to what we think they will be.
Also a cat guy.
Yeah, I'm a dog guy, but I got to take Texas State here. I don't like the direction things are going for Arkansas State. Kind of getting on the rough stretch here. It's been a struggle for the Red Wolves. The Bobcats, meanwhile, are looking to be one of the top contenders in the Sun Belt. I see Texas State winning this one. The offense is just too much for a defense that is struggling. Then we move to our final pick here. At the FCS level, a massive UAC showdown. The still undefeated West Georgia team, like they are one of the stories. Sorry, I got really excited because this is one of the stories of college football. This team is only in their second year at the FCS level after transitioning from Division II, and they are undefeated, rolling past everyone. Like, this team has been extremely impressive. And then you got Austin Peay on the other side. The Governors have been impressive as well. They took down Mid-Ten State to open the year. Only have the one loss to Abilene Christian on the road. This Govs team is also looking really good. Who comes out of this one victorious to maybe be that top challenger to Tarleton State?
You know, I had some trouble picking this one, but I think Austin Peay wins. The Governors.
This was the last portion of my homework, and then we had to jump straight into stuff, so I didn't do a lot of prep work for this. But I've done enough prep work now, and I texted the wrong thing to you.
Oh, convenient. Oh,
do you know the date? Do you know the date?
Oh, that's not what I have up here on the board.
Do you know the date of this game? Oh, by the way, the Reds just took the lead. Do you know the date of the game this weekend?
Was October? But I don't even know what day we're on
4th
today.
or something.
October 4th. Yeah.
Did you know that they played on October 5th of last year?
No, I
These
did not.
These two played October 5th of last year. The score was 20-16. Austin Peay won. I think this year West Georgia comes out victorious and shocks the FCS level and forcing Austin Peay to be 3-3.
Ooh. Interesting.
Just checking back at the notes.
I know the show notes here show something different. Interesting.
It's a funny
Man,
way of spelling West Georgia.
Yeah, I know. Man,
That dang autocorrect.
I can't believe you're gonna do our buddy Gov talk like that. How dare you? I'm not though. Give me Austin P to pull off a huge win at home. The Governors come out with the big.
All right. Well, I think that's a good spot to kind of end the show because we went a little over, mainly because I'm watching Reds baseball right now. We have a series of shows coming up that I think you will like. Topics TBD. But you can find us at Updog Sports Talk on all social media for all of our updates. You can find us on here on YouTube Live, on X Live, on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, YouTube Music, wherever. A little behind on posting. I apologize. I'm busy. But yeah, like, subscribe, tell a friend. We are trying to grow this channel. Hope you liked the conversation tonight. And we will catch you guys next time. See you guys.
On the flippy flip.